How's it going, Noelle?
Hi, great. How are you?
Doing all right, doing all right. It's a
Great.
beautiful day up here in the Pacific Northwest, so
Awesome. Well, I'm in California in the Bay Area,
nice.
and I'm not in, I wish I was in the tiny house, but we actually built a tiny house in our backyard. It's not a mobile tiny house. We had a housemate living with us in our two-bedroom house, and our daughter was sharing our bedroom. And then that situation was just, she was getting too old for that. But we really loved our housemate and we appreciated the income we'd been getting from her, renting a room in our house. So we decided to build a tiny house in the backyard, but we didn't want to deal with permits. And where we live, if you have a structure under 120 square feet, you don't need a permit. And it's not really supposed to be something you have like plumbing and a kitchen in, but we're sort of in unincorporated Marin, where people aren't really like checking in. It's like a little more rural.
Nice.
So we made it's very little and it's got a kitchen and a bathroom, but we added, I'll show some pictures in a minute, but we added the bathroom later. So we did sneak a little bit of extra square footage in, but some of the things that we did to make it more spacious were to make 9 foot ceilings instead of, or not ceilings, but sidewalls instead of eight, and then have like a big vaulted ceiling. So it just like
That
feels
makes
more
a difference.
open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then with all the windows, instead of just making them within the studs of the walls, we put 2 by 12s and sort of had them stick out.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I'll sort of show some
Very cool.
pictures so that you can see.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll let you take over and great to have you here with us. Yeah, super
Oh, great.
excited. Yeah, we'll let you get rocking and rolling. So thanks, Noel.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I just jumped in. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. You're good. You're good. We love it. Yeah,
Great,
we'll keep
great.
getting after it. Awesome. Good stuff. All right, we'll jump back in at the very end. So
Okay, sweet. All right, I'll show a few pictures. Um, let's see here. Um, Sorry, they're not up yet. Ooh. All right, so here's a photo of the tiny house in progress before we added the bathroom, but you can kind of see the window, how it projects out. And what that does is just create a little bit, without changing the footprint, it gave us like a place to have an extra shelf. And we did that on the back of the house as well, where the sleeping loft is. There's my dad. He helped us out. Um, so we did, that's the window in the loft, and it also created another little shelf. Um, so it's really cute. We did all the labor ourselves, um, with my dad helping out and my our housemate who moved into it had a really skilled boyfriend who did the cabinets, which was amazing, and we were grateful for that. Um, and a lot of the materials we got salvaged. There was a, at the time, and sadly it closed, but at the time there was a like home building supply recycling center in our town. And so the door and the all the windows, a lot of things we got secondhand, and there is a little bit more labor involved when you do that, because you need to like maybe sand things down and repaint them. But I like to recycle just for the environmental benefit and for the cost savings. Um, let's see what other photos I've got. Here's just, these are in progress. We built just with regular kind of home construction, like regular spaced studs, except for the taller walls. Um, and it cost us about 20,000 in materials, and then we did all the labor. And so right here where it's you've got this like roof line extending beyond. So it's very open inside, big open ceiling, but over the last 3 feet here, and then all the part that extends is where the sleeping loft is. And then later, after, everyone, all our neighbors, maybe were used to us having this 120 square foot building with the loft extension off the back, we came and we built the bathroom underneath the loft. So you walk through a little door from the kitchen into the bathroom. Let me find a photo of that. And they share a wall. So this is the door that eventually and currently goes to the bathroom. But at that time, it was just a door to the back porch. And you could see the kitchen cabinets are starting to be installed here. We hadn't built them on the right-hand side yet. You can kind of see the sleeping loft above. Definitely now that this was in 2018 that we built it. And so we've actually been, the woman we built it for has moved on. Sadly, we loved her, but she's doing exciting things in her life. And we've been renting it for ever since then. We've had two other tenants. One of them has lived there the last 3 years, and he just gave notice he found a bigger place for not that much more. You really have to be a minimalist to be able to live in here. And I'm sorry that we don't have nice pictures. This is like while it was still under construction. See if I have. Here's the sleeping loft. This front door. Let's see what else I've got. There's, okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. Sorry. I'm lost. Am I back in Zoom? Do you guys, can anyone see me, or can you guys only see my screen now?
We see you only. No
Okay.
screen.
Okay, phew, because I don't, I only see my screen. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so it's been an amazing, like, just to have some passive income from having the tiny house. I do dream, I love the space a lot. I wish I had better pictures of it all finished. Once it was all finished, somebody was moved in and it was like their space. So I didn't want to be intrusive and go and take more photos of the bathroom. We have a separate, no, yeah, we have a composting toilet, which was a little bit nervous about it, but it's a good one. And it doesn't have any odor. It has like a fan that sucks everything out, because we didn't want to deal with connecting to sewer. And that's been working well so far. And there's like a little sink and a shower. A few things that as the years have gone by, the main thing that I've wished that we had maybe thought about better was ventilation, because the loft ceiling is the roof of or the floor of the loft is the roof of the shower, the bathroom, and the kitchen. There wasn't a way to vent through the ceiling to the outside. So we don't have like a fan in the bathroom, and we have, well, and the little hot water heater that we got ended up having like a small leak in it. So moisture in the bathroom, we just now discovered that there was some moisture, and we got that repaired, but like you really don't want mold. So that's something to be really aware of, is like making sure everything vents, and even the fan in the kitchen, um, it's a recirculates the air, but there wasn't an easy way because we couldn't go up through the floor of the sleeping loft. There wasn't a way to easily vent the kitchen cooking air outside. So if I was to build it all again, I would think about that and think about how to make sure that like you get good air circulation and you're not going to get moisture trapped in there. The other thing I wish I'd done is because we were on such a kick of getting everything used and everything is so compact and small in there, I got just like a very small little dorm refrigerator, and because people who've been living there is like their home, you know, it's like they really can they have to go to the store like every few days because there's just not a lot of food storage. So in some ways, it almost feels like it's better suited as like a vacation rental, you know, a short-term rental because there's not a lot of space for stuff, but it's been working out, and I think that people love it. I wish I had pictures of how it's actually quite beautiful in there because there's like this light pine wood paneling on the ceilings, and it's with all the cabinets built, they're like a matching light pine. It's really, really a pretty space with those like big high open ceilings, a lot of light. It's like in a garden setting. So it's a pretty sweet oasis, but it's definitely, you can't have a whole lot of stuff. And so I think for someone that either is a minimalist or maybe has like is a young person who still keeps some of their stuff at their parents' home, or they have a storage unit, or they've just really pared the last two women that lived there really just kind of pared their lifestyles down where they didn't have a lot of stuff. And I think so many of us, you know, like don't even wear 80% of the clothes in our closet most of the time. We could really do with a lot less. So um it's been people have enjoyed living there, and it's been a great way for us. We knew we could make more money probably on the short-term rental market, but it's so hard to find affordable housing for people that actually live in our community and work in our community that we wanted to be able to provide that, provide like a home for people who work, um, yeah, who work locally. So anyway, that's kind of been that's a bit about our tiny house. I don't know if there are questions from anyone. All right. Um, oh, so somebody wrote, sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat. How did we find a renter? Well, word of mouth. I mean, the first woman was already in our house, and I actually didn't because it has the composting toilet, and that's not really something that we have a permit for. Um, we we just told a couple friends, and there's such a demand where we live for, you know, where we live, like you can pay like $1,500 for a room in a shared house. It's just kind of insane. So there's a lack of affordable housing. So I just kind of put the word out to a few friends and had several people to interview and chose our favorite one. And with the greywater, yeah, the shower and the kitchen sink go direct to our landscape. So they just kind of go into a mulched swale system around some plants. And I've studied permaculture, so I kind of just designed that myself. And oh, I see here there's a question, how much did it cost? I don't have an exact figure, but I think it cost about $20,000 in materials, and that's not including any labor. So we just built it kind of, we got work parties. My dad helped out a lot. He helped us remodel our home and my sister's home, and he and his father and his brothers and built the house I grew up in. So I knew he had the skills to help us with that. And so we do weekend work parties, and I'd work on it in the evenings. Watched some YouTube, learned how to tile. um, so so yeah, that saved us a lot on the money. Oh, have I considered Luno's ventilation system, which vents through the sidewall? I am going to look into that because I think I want to add a bathroom fan, and I was like thinking I would look for a fan that would vent through a sidewall. So I think because our tenant is moving out and we have a chance to, you know, fix a couple of things before we get a new person, I will be looking. So thanks for the recommendation on Lunos. I will look for that. Um, a lot of tiny. Yeah, ours is truly DIY, so I don't know if we do pass code, but we do have, oh, so with the bathroom, I did consider because the composting toilet has a fan that's constantly like running because it's like it's venting the toilet and kind of dehydrating the um all the poop. I kind of felt like that was going to be helping actually ventilate the bathroom. But anyhow, so far so good. It's been 6 years and it doesn't smell gross or musty. It's really still nice in there, but um I'm not sure what a building inspector would say. Um, yeah, the composting toilet, like it runs, you don't have to hand crank it. You just like keep a bucket of peat moss, and every time you go, you just add. It separates the urine from the solid waste. And we actually send the urine to our septic system, so we don't have to worry about because we have septic where we live. We're kind of in the country. Um, but our septic isn't built for like that many more people, so we didn't want to send the solids there too. Um, and and then you just once a month, it's got like one of those composting bags, and you just empty the peat moss and the solid waste, and you put it in a 50-gallon barrel and let it further compost. And then after a while, you can just kind of put it out on the land under non-food crops. So I think I just asked that, how you dispose of the solids in the composter. Yeah. Yeah, it is really doable. I mean, we only have one person using the toilet, so it would maybe be more often if there were multiple residents or people living there, but it's a tiny space, so. So the tenant dumps it because I don't even go into it's their space and I don't go into it. If I was doing short-term rental with it, we would do that maintenance so that, the guests didn't have to do that. But it's not, it's dry. They completely dry the solid waste and it's mixed with peat moss, so it's not this really gross sticky thing. Yeah. I don't know if we were to do it again though, I might have just put in a flush toilet just because, if it was always one tenant, but now it's like you have to make sure that the tenant you're gonna get is down with having a composting toilet. Just some people that idea grosses them out. And also makes it where I don't want to list it like publicly on Craigslist for rent, but it hasn't been a problem so far because it is a really beautiful space. It feels like so sweet in there. We call it like the chapel because of the really high ceilings, and it's just been very easy to find tenants so far. Yeah, it does limit the market, but the market is I don't know, there's just a very high demand for affordable housing here. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had a bigger yard. I would build several more because I really like having not just a tenant, but we've always selected somebody that's become kind of a community member that like the other night our tenant was over playing music with us. Sometimes we share meals. The first woman we built it for was like, I have a daughter, and she was just like this lovely kind of big sister mentor feeling. So for our family, it's been a way to build more community. And if we're on an eighth of an acre, so it's a very small lot. But if we had more space, I would love to have like 3 more and just kind of have more beautiful people in our lives. Yeah, I think I would build another myself. I actually envy, like, our house is just got like the flat ceilings with the sheetrock. I kind of wish I lived in the tiny house because I just love the pine and everything. So I would build another. I'm busier now than I used to be. I work more full time than I did at the time. So it might take longer. You know, just doing it on weekends. And my dad is getting older too. Like was really big help. He helped my sister remodel her house like, I don't know, 20 years ago, and then he helped us with ours like 12 years ago, and then helped us with the tiny house like 6 years ago. And I've noticed it's harder for him to get up and down. Like he's almost 80. It's harder, it's slower work. So might need to recruit some friends that uh are good builders to help, that are more agile. I live in the North Bay area, so just north of San Francisco in Marin County. And rents are out of control here. So I feel like it's a very nice thing to be able to provide a reasonable cost place for people to live. I wish that sometimes I wish it was on wheels. So if we ever move, I could take it with us, but there is no access in our yard to get a trailer in and out. So there was nowhere on our property that you could actually put a mobile tiny house. And because we do own this property, we're here for a good while. Anyway, I'm not sure what else to say about it. There are, I mean, maybe if I saw a really cool little kit, you know, somebody else in our community just has a company called like Zomes, and they're these really cool little beautiful, like kind of round, very organic looking, and they're made out of this carbon beneficial cement somehow. They look almost like a pine cone, and they come together in a kit, and they cost about 20,000 for the kit, but that's just for a building, not with like a bathroom and a kitchen. That all those additions would probably add quite a lot more. But maybe I would put together one of those, because they're fireproof, which is cool, because you know, here, and I'm Pacific Northwest too, but here where we live, fire is a real threat. It's never gotten too close to our house, but it is something to think about. So you said, what is the hardest part of building it? The hardest part of building it was, well, I was grateful for my husband for doing the electrical. I don't do any of that. I think the hardest part, honestly, was that because we wanted to get so much for free, we got some 2x4s that had been stored for a long time, that like our friend Ruby, who lived in it at first, her dad had them, but because of the way they'd been stored, they weren't like completely straight. So using secondhand materials or repurposed materials, like it made it very hard for everything to have perfect 90-degree angles. So then once it was time to put the cabinetry in, like Will, who did them, had to like custom cut every little corner. You know, it just slowed things down a lot to have things not be completely at 90 degrees. So that was a challenge. And we did it on a cement slab foundation, and I'd never done that before. So that was kind of just doing that, like you had the cement truck and you had to just be ready and do the pour. And luckily we had a friend come and sort of that had seen that before and did that. So, and then I guess just like hard things were like working on places up high, like trying to do the insulation up at the peak, and putting the pine paneling where you're just like kind of creating scaffolding, but you're really kind of up high. Yeah, even new 2x4s are not straight, but these ones were definitely not straight. Yeah. Yeah, I think I learned a lot, and if I was to do it again, I might think about the creating more clever storage, like un not really under bed. You want the bed low as possible because you're under a loft and you want to have lots of nice headspace when you sit up, um just like wherever you can, coming up with like clever storage, storage couch. We found a really cute little convertible couch. It's like very compact and it folds out into a sofa bed. It's like a love seat size sofa bed. So I was excited to find that. How do we came up with the design? I think my dad helped with that. He's was a civil engineer and he's good with that kind of stuff. And we wanted it, the stonework around the outside is the same as the stonework on our house. We wanted it to kind of harmonize with the house we have, and just trying to think about what's the most efficient way to make 120 square feet, and where could we bump out those windows, or where could we create any more sort of space. And it's good, nice that with the bathroom on the back side of the kitchen, like that made it easier to do the plumbing and have the hot water heater in one place. But so right now it has a storage shed because the person that lives in it now is actually like a handyman carpenter, and so he has like a whole suite of tools. Like he has a lot of stuff. So um he keeps those he brought his own like storage shed, and he keeps those in there. And then inside, I did build like a closet, which I'm sad I don't have a picture of. There's for clothing, and the first woman that lived there like had a lot of her clothing kind of like, she had a whole system of kind of like almost like wooden milk, like those kind of wooden crate things or baskets that she had all her clothes in up in the loft. But I think Jay keeps most of them in the closet, and he does keep all his stuff inside, except for his tools are all outside. Yeah. Anyway, um but yeah, he does pretty well with a small space. He's got like, one of those little hanging baskets for fruit in the kitchen. And like I said, though, for fresh things, there's almost no freezer space. So when he needs to, we let him put some stuff in our freezer. And also he does his laundry in our house because there's no washer and dryer in there. So he has permission and access at any time to come in and use our washer and dryer. The lot is, I think it's is an eighth of an acre, 40,000 square feet. I don't quite remember, but it's an unusually, all the lots in our neighborhood are quarter acre, but at some point in the past, ours had been like subdivided. So we have a smaller lot for where we live. Oh, the loft. Oh, I'm sorry. How many square feet is the loft? Sorry, I read that wrong. Oh yeah. It is just about the depth, just a bit deeper than a mattress. So the width of the building is 9 feet. So it was originally 9 feet by 13, and then we added another like 4. So for the bathroom, so now it's 9 by 17, and the loft is probably 7 feet. Yeah, the 4 feet of the bathroom and 3 feet of the kitchen, 7 feet deep and 9 feet wide. And the the ceiling over the kitchen is a little lower, like it's at 7 feet. And so there's like 2 feet where the walls go up before the ceiling starts to slope up. And so you do have, I've seen lofts where you really don't have much headspace, like you could sit up and like hit your head, but it's better than that up there. But for me, when I think about living there, I would love to, except I often have to get up and go to the bathroom. in the night. And I think it would really annoy me to have to come down a ladder to do that and go back up. So I saw in the last presentation people talking about thinking about having a bed on the ground floor. And I think that for me, I would like that. And maybe have like the upstairs loft area be like more of a hangout, or have like a little desk and a beanbag chair and a guitar, or, um, I think I would like to sleep on the same level as the bathroom. But anyway, if you're younger and don't have that issue of going to the bathroom in the night, it's great. Anyway, thanks for having me. I hope that was helpful for people. And yeah,
I'm back. Hey, Noelle, thank you so much. That was awesome. It's really cool to hear your inspiring story of how you guys made it happen. And, you just set to work and just chipped away at it and kind of built a really cool, amazing structure, which is what I love. Because a lot of people, not a lot, but some people who DIY, they just think they just need to like stick with the bare basics and make it look just kind of plain. But yours is really cool looking. So I love that.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's cool to hear kind of the inside of the inner workings of, what it's